You ever gotten scammed, like they sold you a fake gem?
It's really common in this business, man. I sit down and there's just a line of dealers, miners that just like line out the door. They crowd you, like throw gems in your face, like you just have to negotiate on the spot.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you're on a date, like
no
one's gonna.
Yeah, it's like that guy with the diamond test.
Right.
A lot of jewelry owners get in sketchy situations with robberies, people trying to take their shit. Has that ever happened with you?
Not with me personally, no. I know like my dad's been in a car chase or two back in the day.
They chased him?
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly, here with my co-host, Wayne Lewis.
What up, what up?
And our guest today, Avi Rahmanim. How's it going?
What's going on? Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Las Vegas.
Sir.
The Gem
Thank
King.
you very much. The Gem King. That's what some people call me.
He flips gems.
Yeah, I see.
Talk to me about how you got into that.
So it actually started off with a family business. So my dad immigrated to the States, pretty much nothing, as most immigrants do. His uncle was in the business, so we just gave my dad some gems. He's like, go sell these. Eventually it kind of became like a, more established business. I didn't know I was going to go into it from, my childhood. I was kind of like working summers, like doing like bitch work and stuff, like sorting out like diamond melly, like small, tiny diamonds and stuff. But like my sophomore year of college, he was like diagnosed with dementia. So I knew I kind of wanted to go into it full time.
Right.
So yeah, I went on a trip with him overseas to do like gemstone buying. We buy most of our gemstones from like Thailand, Sri Lanka. So I went with him when he was like starting to like, get some symptoms of dementia. And I just kind of gathered all the info, watch him negotiate, see what kind of gems we were buying, and then after that it was just solo.
Wow.
From there. Yeah.
So you guys cut the gems too? They actually come in a rock, right?
Yeah, so they come in a rough form. We don't actually cut them. We usually buy them already cut.
Oh, okay.
Because it's we can cut them here, but it's just more expensive in the States to get them like shaped. We have like a guy doing like repairs and stuff on gems, but no, cutting them it's mostly overseas.
So what's the difference between a gem and a crystal?
So a gem it can be a crystal, but not all gems are crystals. So like a quartz crystal, if it's a nice looking crystal, it could be considered a gem. But there's like different types of gems that aren't crystals, like pearls, for example. Those could be considered gems. But
pearls can be considered gems? Why?
Yeah. They just there's organic and inorganic types of gems. So organic is like pearls, like coral, things like that. Inorganic would be like sapphires, diamonds, rubies, emeralds. Things like that.
What's your favorite type of gem to own?
I'm a sapphire guy.
You like sapphires?
Yeah,
sapphire guy.
I like sapphires. They're cool. Just my favorite color is blue. So
sapphire blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of jewelers actually play around with the sapphires. In custom pieces and stuff too.
Yeah, they're fun, man. Like so, most jewelers everyone knows diamonds. Gemstones are like a whole different world. And
does gems get the same respect as diamonds though?
Depends who you ask. Yeah, diamonds have the marketing behind it. Everyone knows that a diamond is expensive. It shines, and diamonds are really cool. Like they're like super shiny and stuff, But I just like colored stones better. Like sapphires, rubies, emeralds. Is just like I don't know. Diamonds are like everything's like the same. The D color is like the best. Like it just get like colored stones. It's like you could have a preference of royal blue, or you could have a preference of like a light colored, sapphire. So it's like, I don't know.
So I've heard the diamond industry is kind of like a monopoly. Is the gem industry like that, where there's just a few key players at the top?
No, not at all. Most of our gems that we buy overseas are from like small mining operations, mostly in Sri Lanka. And it's very small scale. Like it's, these these mines are like 10 meters deep, 10 meters out. And yeah, like different people could own different parts of the mine, rented, and
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty small scale.
Because the diamond industry is a monopoly.
Oh, it's this. I mean, they're killing over that. I mean, is this the same thing? Are they killing over gems too?
No, I wouldn't say so. Like, there's always conflict with some, I'm sure. Just like with anything that's like high value that could be like traded easily. But yeah, like with the diamond industry, I don't think it still is a monopoly. I think it's. I think so. The big companies like De Beers that everyone talk about that used to have like a large portion of the market share. I think they have like 25 to 30%, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still like a, what do you call it, like oligopoly? You know, there's like only a few key players. But yeah, it's like I actually don't like. I don't know. Maybe it still is.
What's the most expensive gem you've ever seen, or what is the highest price for a gem? Like the most expensive you've ever seen, or
it could. I mean, there's no limit to like how expensive it could be.
Right.
Yeah, like
what's the most expensive you've heard of or seen yourself with your own eyes or held?
Yeah, so a few years ago I was actually here in Vegas for like the gem convention.
Yeah.
And there's this one booth that had, I mean, like enormous, untreated, unheated sapphires that are just like 50 plus carats.
Wow.
And I held 5 of them in my hand that I think equaled like $10 million.
Holy
sapphire! Wow.
Just in my hand, like 5 of them together.
Yeah.
I mean, these are like, you know,
the
like
purest,
like huge, like to get a huge crystal like that with little imperfections with a saturated color like that. It's like incredibly rare.
So where would you go about gem hunting? Is there anywhere in the U.S. you could gem hunt?
Yeah. So in the U.S. I actually haven't done it.
Yeah. Sounds fun, right?
Yeah. I mean, how would that work though?
You go underground, right?
Yeah. So there's different places. I know there's a quartz mine in Arkansas that you can go to. It's like open to the public, and you just like walk around, like, you know, like, I don't know, smack some walls and find some like huge purple crystals. But those are on like gems. There actually are some sapphire mines in Montana. And I have made some connections. I haven't gone though.
You should go.
I would love to. That'd be some great content right there.
Yeah, it would be for sure.
But yeah, it's like, it's mostly like smaller scale in Montana as well. But yeah, I mean, some of the gems that come out of there are really cool. Yeah.
And how are the margins? Because I know with watches, they're pretty thin. Is it similar with gems?
It depends. Usually it's like, usually like the smaller the item is, the higher the margin is.
Okay.
The more expensive it is, the slimmer the margin is.
Yeah.
Kind of like most things, like you can't like, you know, double your money on like a $50,000 stone. You know, it's just like, it's just not, you know. I would say they're better than diamonds and watches.
Oh, it's better?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Watches are thin, man.
Very thin.
And the problem with watches is the price can fluctuate. Like, it went down a lot recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the watch.
Yeah. Especially the iced out ones. Those are like hard to sell.
The value's not, because they drill them.
Yeah.
They take away all the value every time they drill hole. The watch becomes really light, frail.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no value there. I just like them though.
Yeah. No, they look sick.
Yeah. I like
the thing is, like, like the purists or whatever, they're always gonna be snobby, like, you ruined the watch.
Like, literally ruined that watch. It was beautiful before you did that.
Yeah, like if it looks good, like who can, you know?
Yeah, so it's subjective. So
Now, if you look at a price chart history of gems, what would it look like starting from, 1900s, I guess?
It pretty much only goes up, kind of. I mean, it just depends. Like if there's a new gem that gets introduced to the market, like for example, I forgot how long ago, I think in the 70s, there was a big pocket of tanzanites found in Tanzania. And
you said tanzanite?
Tanzanite, yeah. It's like a bluish purplish color with really like rich color.
Is that rare?
So that's the thing. So when
I've never heard of a tanzanite.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's relatively common.
Okay.
It's, they sell it a lot on like cruise ships and stuff because I mean they mark it up like crazy.
Yeah, you never hear people say, this is tanzanite.
Yeah, it's not as popular as like the big three, like sapphires, rubies, and emeralds. But yeah, so when they first got introduced to the market, it was like a craze over. Everyone's like, oh, this is like amazing, like super like expensive. Like they were, I think, competing with sapphires in price. But eventually kind of like as they found bigger and bigger deposits of it, then the price kind of just stabilized. So it kind of went down. And that's kind of, I would say that's pretty common with like most things that come to the market. But I mean, to find a new gem deposit like that, it's pretty
rare, right?
Yeah. But yeah, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, they just kind of like just climb in price because less and less of them get, introduced to the market,
right?
And like supply and demand.
There's a finite amount of it on the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
So I hear you're pretty good with negotiations. How does that work? That's your forte, right? Is coming down on the price.
Yeah, pretty much.
Meet where your price.
Yeah. It's like it's the type of industry where it's very traditional in that way. It's just like person to person. You're negotiating every single stone or parcel that you buy. It's like kind of goes back to just like the basics of like business, you want to buy it for as little as possible and then sell it for as much as you can before you get undercut by it, but yeah.
What's an example of like someone who came in there and they were trying to, highball you and they walked out of there like, what just happened?
That's funny.
Literally every single person. Every person I deal with. Because they see that, they watch me on social media and stuff.
And they try to come in and beat you.
They try to come in and like, if they see I buy something at a certain price, I mean, they can't tell the clarity, color, and all that just from like my video. You really have to get up close and personal with a stone to see it. So they come in expecting like, oh, he's about to pay $3,000 for a 1 carat emerald, and I'm just like, look at it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's garbage. Like, it depends. If someone really comes in offering a fair price, and I accept it. I'm not.
So what was the highest someone came in at, and what was the lowest you bought it at? And did the transaction happen? Like, damn, well,
I would say most stones that I negotiate, the transaction doesn't happen. But with every person, if a person comes in with 50, 100 stones, and odds are good I'll buy 1 or 2 of them. But yeah, that's like things that I'm interested in. So the highest, I don't know. I mean, just off the top of the head, like someone came in the other day they came from Colombia asking for like, I don't know, like 5,000 a carat for a stone. We ended up settling on like 1,500 per carat.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like,
they wanted how much?
5,000 per carat. So we price things per carat, which is a carat is 1/5 of a gram.
Right.
So we kind of weigh it, per mass, kind of like buying, bananas from a supermarket.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
you got down to 1,500 per carat.
1,500 per carat from like 5,000 a carat.
How did you do that? What if the diamonds wasn't as good as you thought they were?
People come in just wanting as much as possible. So they started a crazy number, and then, I offered, I'm like, if you're wanting to sell me that, I will sell it to you for a quarter of the price. And I show them my own inventory. That's like always like a way of, kind of putting things into reality.
Perspective.
Like, yeah, exactly. So, I don't know.
And were you always good at negotiating, or did it take a while? Because a lot of people suck at it. So, like, did you develop it naturally, or?
Yeah. So my first trip overseas for a buying trip was, with my dad. And I just kind of like watched and I just like, saw how like it works. And then, after that was my first solo trip. But I would say like a really good way to learn how to negotiate well is to just go to like Southeast Asia and just like negotiate, because everything there is kind of like
up in the area.
Yeah, like an open market where they sell like like knockoff like, I don't know, Yeezys and stuff. Like you just kind of like work on like the back and forth. You just kind of like know how to read the person, see how they react. You match their energy and just kind of I don't know. Like I've never been like scared to negotiate. I know some people like
run away from it.
Yeah, they run away from it. because most things we're not used to it here. Like most things aren't negotiable. You're not like walking into like a store. Like,
I'm always like, when it comes to buying stuff, I mean, whether it's not in the store, but when it comes to like jewelry and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
bro.
I'm gonna go back and forth.
I go hard at garage sales and flea markets, even though I'm saving like $2. I just love negotiating.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta kind of try your luck a little bit.
Right, exactly. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Nah, because I mean, cheaper is better.
Do you believe in they have to make the first offer, or are you comfortable saying a price first?
I don't like it when, so I always ask what their price is just to see where their head's at with it.
Yeah.
If they tell me make an offer, then I just say something ridiculously low, and then that's when they say their first offer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
it's like you're not going to come into like my store and just be like, yeah, like give me an offer for something.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see where they're at, see if like, you know, what they're trying to, if they're trying to rip me off or, you know. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten scammed? Like they sold you a fake gem?
I mean, it's really common in this business, man. Like it's really common. So you just have to be careful. I've definitely bought things. So overseas in Sri Lanka, what I do is it's like an open market.
Yeah.
I sit down and there's just a line of dealers, miners that just like line out the door. They crowd you, like they throw gems in your face. Like you just have to negotiate on the spot. Luckily, like what I do is, you know, I send everything to a lab first to verify. And then if something comes back, you know, not what the result that I expected, then I just don't pay for it. Like they keep the gem, and I kind of work it with a broker that way.
Oh, okay.
But in the store, I mean, first of all, you have to know, I kind of have to like know the person a little bit. There are people that walk in and then you have to do the testing on the gems, like make sure it's not synthetic, make sure there's no treatments. But I mean, it's really common in this business. There's a lot of treatments that that are hard to detect.
So treatments make it a lot brighter, shinier.
Yeah, they can improve the color, clarity.
Which takes away from the value, right? But on the eye, it's there. But when you test it out, it's like, no, this business has been treated, so it's not even value to
Exactly.
It's like watches.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. So you guys want to treat the gem yourself, or you don't want to treat the gems?
Well, it depends. There's treatments that are acceptable in the trade.
Okay.
Like sapphires and rubies, they're heat treated.
Right.
And that's like a large percentage, like 80 to 90% of sapphires on the market are heat treated.
Right.
So they pretty much take the raw gem, put it in like an oven for an extended period of time, and it makes the color more saturated and kind of melts down some inclusions. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is disclosure of treatments.
Yeah. They don't tell you.
Yeah, if they're a bad dealer, you know, then they won't tell you treatments. And that's when you have to just know your shit and look at the gem and just know if it's synthetic or natural. That's the biggest thing. Like, just knowing if something's like real or not. Yeah.
A lot of jewelry owners get in sketchy situations with robberies, people trying to take their shit. Has that ever happened with you?
Not with me personally. No. I know like my dad's been in a car chase or two back in the day.
They chase them?
Oh yeah. It's a common thing, you know, but we have like our safety measures in place. Like we don't leave the shop with anything on us ever. We ship everything fully insured, like armored shipping services.
Wow.
So it's like, and we're on like a higher up floor of our jewelry building.
Wow. So you stay protected.
Yeah, I mean, they have to, bro. They got something everybody wants that has a lot of value to it, especially if you get one of the ones that's uncut or pure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
but can they get caught, like, as far as with the serial numbers and like this?
Some gemstones, yeah. Like, if it's like diamonds, if it's graded by the GIA or like some other labs that have laser inscriptions on the girdle, which is like the outer diameter of the diamond. And you could report that stolen or something, kind of like reporting a stolen Rolex. But, those could always be like polished off.
Yeah, you're not getting that back.
Yeah.
You're not getting that back.
Yeah, it's like an unfortunate thing. And like, I know we have been like, not robbed in the past, but there have been like people that, I don't know, like did some stuff like
so you do
stuff.
You do custom jewelry too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, custom
So
jewelry.
you can customize any watch, any chain, earrings, whatever a person
Yes,
needs.
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Nice.
So we just started getting into that recently. Yeah, it's been a fun kind of not side gig, but it's like, you know, it really integrated it into our business. Because we have the gemstones, we have like, you know, the meat of the jewelry. So yeah, we work with custom CAD designers and stuff. So anything you want, we can make.
Seems like gems are a pretty safe way to store your money.
If you buy it right, yeah.
Like
You want to
gold.
buy the right one, so
Yeah. So the big three probably, right? Like
Right. If you
are they easy to sell though? Once, like, let's say if he had $2 million in stones and gems,
yeah.
is that easier? Is that easy for him to sell? Turn into cash, or most people would stray away from, or is that the problem?
That's the thing. So you have to buy it. It's not like gold where there's a set market price. It's just kind of whatever you buy it. Like you have to negotiate the price. There's no like standardized price for gemstones. There are for diamonds, kind of. But yeah, gemstones, you'd have to buy it at the lowest like market rate, which is hard to do. It's just hard to do. And then you'd have to find a way to liquidate it. Because if you go try to sell it to, you know, like a jeweler or pawn shop, they're going to offer you like 25% of what, 50% of what it's worth.
right.
So you would need a way to sell it.
Yeah.
But you know, if you buy a high quality gemstone, like a 5 carat Colombian emerald, no oil, you know, it could be a good way to store your money. You just have to make sure you buy it. Right?
Yeah.
I would buy
know
a
how to
gold
sell
brick. I would buy a gold brick.
Gold brick for sure. Yeah. That's pretty safe.
That's
easier
a
to
safe way.
sell. Way easier because a bank will buy that.
The bank will?
A bank will, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Buy a gold brick
Yeah.
for sure.
Gold is very standardized.
Yeah.
You know? It's has a market price. You buy it at, you know, spot price or a little bit less, and then if it goes up 10%, you're pretty much
good.
You're pretty much good.
You're pretty much good.
And what about the grading? Is it similar to diamonds like VVS, VS?
With gemstones?
Yeah.
No.
It's a different grade.
Kind of. So with clarity wise, it's not like a standardized VVS, VS, SI.
Yeah, because
It's just
diamonds,
kind
how
of-
many different grades are there?
So many.
It's like
Let's see. There's flawless, internally flawless, VVS1, VVS2,
because there's
SI1,
grades under the grades. So there's SI1, SI2, SI3.
Yeah. So
So
there's 9
It's probably
on
like
GIA scale, but
so there's 9, but what is the internal grade? So it's 3 internal grades under each grade, right?
so yeah. So there's 9. There's 9 clarity grades.
Classes, right?
Kind of, and then there's four classes, like the flawless,
Yeah,
internally
there's 4
flawless.
classes under each grade.
Wow. So there's
Kind of,
36
kind of.
grades.
Probably, bro.
Wow.
Because it
Well,
goes
it's-
here and then it goes here. It goes here, then it goes here.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's 9 grades by the GIA.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nine grades. But yeah, like VS. When someone says
One,
VS, it's just
VS2.
VS1, VS2.
Yeah. And then there's VVS.
Right.
That's totally different from VS.
Right.
So for gems, what is it? How many are there?
There isn't a scale.
Oh, there's no scale?
There's no scale.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, you know, you could compare it to a diamond and be like, this would be a VS if it were a diamond, but there's not. There's kind of not that thing.
So you need a lot of skill then, because you got to be able to see like imperfections,
Yeah.
scratches.
Yeah, I kind of always have been like in that mindset of like, if it's eye clean, meaning you can't see anything with the naked eye, then like it's good. You know?
It's good.
I feel that. Yeah, because who's going to pull up a microscope on
Right.
your...
Right.
Some jewelers do. They want to know what they're getting.
That's true.
They
Yeah.
wanna know what's
Yeah,
there.
no, it's
if
true.
you want to know what's there.
Yeah.
But I'm
Like-
saying if you're on a date, like,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one's
I'll-
going to...
Yeah.
Hey, let me, can you, like, bro, get away
Oh,
from
I
my
would.
chest. I don't mean to break your guys up. Let me see your shit. Nice.
It's like that guy with the diamond test.
Right. Walking around.
Yeah.
Like, man, get off my chain.
Is
bro.
there one of those testers for gems?
Probably not.
Not really.
Uh,
Gems are, dude, they're just complicated. You just have to know what you're looking at.
Right.
Like,
And
it's
then nobody's
what it
really
comes down
walking
to.
around with gems either, right?
girls are, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's not common to see them. They are common, but they're the most common, uncommon piece of jewelry because people really want diamonds.
Yeah.
They want
They've been
diamonds.
popular recently, though. Like, I've
Yeah.
been selling a decent, I would say, like, maybe 20-25% of like engagement ring sales that I've been doing have
been
been
gems?
gemstones. Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, why?
Emerald, sapphires. People just
I mean,
like
bro,
them.
he's getting millions of views.
Yeah.
So he's starting a little comeback, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gems.
Yeah.
Dang.
They're on the rise.
So people are getting their wedding rings and But does that have anything to do with birthstones in a way, where the birthstone color?
It can,
because gems are birthstones, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like birthstones, that's like a popular thing for like jewelry in general. I would say like for engagement rings though, you kind of want something that's durable enough to withstand daily wear, because diamonds they're very durable. They're like a 10 out of 10 on the most hardness scale, meaning the only thing that could scratch a diamond is another diamond. Sapphires are a 9 on that scale, so one step below. But yeah, they can get some abrasion after wearing them for a while. Emeralds are even less durable, so like they can get abraded after a while. But for the most part, like if you're careful with it, you should be fine.
That's cool. Yeah. I always freak out about scratching my watches, bro.
Yeah.
Like they scratch pretty easily.
Especially the metal ones, you brush them against something.
Bro, yeah, the APs, they scratch like easily. You touch it on a table, it's scratched. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah. It's because it's polished. It's fine. It's a very, very fine polish, and it's like they thin out the metal so much to where it's like almost flawless.
Yeah.
So that's why
every little scratch.
It literally is like.
What's the most you've spent on a gem?
He's a negotiator, bro. He doesn't spend shit. Why do I thought it was $5? He wanted $50. I gave him $10. Get out of here.
I don't know, like tens of thousands.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a lot for a gem, man.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But you're gonna move it, like, or do you like? How often are you churning inventory?
So that's the thing. Some gems they could sit for years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like if I was turning it over every year, I would be, on a yacht right now. But it's like, it's the type of like gemstones, especially, it's the type of thing that it can sit for a while. Because the way the kind of gemstone industry works, it's kind of, it's a unique business where and diamonds are kind of similar too, where like we're a wholesaler, right? So retailer comes to me and they're like, hey, I have a customer for a 2-carat ruby. And I'm like, okay. So I loan it to them. I have to trust them that they're not going to screw me over. I loan it to them. They show their customer. If their customer wants it, then they pay me. Wow. So I loan it to them. That's why it's an industry that's just built on trust. It's like, and there are a lot of good eggs that go bad. But yeah, like you need to have solid references. You have to have a good reputation. You have to do many years. There's like certain credit limits that you set with certain people.
Wow.
And yeah. So it's a business just built on reputation and trust.
Why should people buy a gem over, not technically over a diamond, but why would you suggest a gem per se a diamond? Like if they were in a shopping mall, I'd say, like why should people buy gems?
I just think they're more fun. I don't know. They're unique. It's like just throwing some color into your life. It's like I like the color blue. Like I'm wearing like there's a tiny blue sapphire in here, but I don't know. It's personal preference. If someone prefers the look of a diamond, they could go for that. If someone prefers, if you want something to match your hat, you can wear like a ruby in your pinky. Just it's fun.
Avi, I've learned a lot about gems today, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Any closing comments?
Follow me on all the socials. Gemstones, baby.
Gemstones.
Yeah, no, it's it's a fun industry. Like, I
love what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
His YouTube negotiations inspire me, bro. They get me hyped up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to garage sales and save some money.
Hell yeah, do it. Come on.
Hell yeah. Wade?
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Instagram @TheCreator. Don't forget.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Digital Social Hour. See you next time.
Peace.